Malaysian case, but you fail to understand that even if the issue in the Malaysian case, the agenda is raised by bloggers, the information is all validated by journalists. Time magazine endorsed you, and you endorsed Time magazine too.
What does this mean?
Yes, please.
But the fact is, the information first came from the bloggers. Whether it's validated by the mainstream media, we don't care. The bloggers actually raised the issue first. They were the ones that brought this issue to light, and that is what is influence.
But if they're not validated, you wouldn't have to say example here. Likewise, you've always been using journalists for your information, and this often reference, why not some random blogger say something?
If the information does not exist in the first place, how can it be validated by the mainstream media?
Because most of the time, the mainstream media are the ones that come up with the news. How do I show this? Now, there are 6 billion people in the world, and only 60 million have computers. 10 million people have blogs. Let's compare that in newspapers. You mentioned India. India alone has over 17 million newspaper subscriptions there, and China 94 million. You are the one that say the game of numbers is important. And likewise, even if everyone can be a blogger, not every Tom, Dick, or Harry with a personal website can influence or affect you. Furthermore, we mentioned that influence is both magnitude and effect. Tell me the screenshot like, oh my gosh, the guy was so cute, what? Inspire anyone to change the world. But if you're still so sure that they're becoming more influential, then journalists, perhaps have a reference to the Marxist theory, which states that revolutions all lead to utopia. But unless it's there at the end of time, you'll never know if things really change.
Okay, oh my gosh, that boy is cute. You paint a picture of him. And if the public actually finds this boy cute, they would go and visit the blog, and then it's influence. You're influencing people to visit your blog first.
So does this influence have any ultimate harmful effect on society? No effect. Now let me outline what we say today. Yes, please.
The motive today is becoming more influential, whether global, whether it's society, whatever it is still influence. We're talking about influence here.
Indeed, and my first speaker has touched upon and defined influence, while my second has highlighted how journalism has made tangible differences to our world. But now I'll focus on the reactionary role of bloggers. Now, the word reactionary alone has two connotations. First, that bloggers are volatile and brandish their sensitivities with aloofness, making them less dependable. Second, that bloggers only generate content as a response, and I'll be elucidating on both. First, that bloggers are relatively less dependable. Bloggers hide behind veils that trivialize their status. They're anonymous, self-centered, and detached, relegating their normally fun reading. And indeed, they may seem entertaining, but are their extremist stances respectable? The little petty gripes invite damning skepticism among the general public, while journalists, on the other hand, have a baseline of credibility that these blogs circumvent. Secondly, bloggers are influenced by journalists, making them passive. Journalists provide the actual, fundamental social awareness, while bloggers merely offer social commentary from margins of society. After all, you can't possibly comment on something you know nothing about. Case in point, the Tiananmen Square incident of 1989. Coverage of the appalling violation of human rights was impetus for foreign populations to act. But strangely, in China, many remain unaware of the incident. Why? Because it's yet to be reported in the news. Journalists tell the stories that changed the world. Furthermore, our journalists are the agents of commercial media ventures and are therefore bound to keeping the public duly informed. Why? As a forward line, because employment depends on circulation depends on demand, and demand will only depend on the interest in the content of the papers. I'm sure you agree. But journalists determine this same content. Would they choose unemployment? If I were a journalist, I really think I wouldn't. Journalists, they cover issues objectively, but bloggers only react to this professional opinion. Sure, you may say that censorship may mar this complete exposure in certain nations, but the media worldwide is generally regarded as the fourth estate, checking the government in most free democracies. As ex-journalist Oscar Wilde once claimed, in America, the president reigns for 4 years, and journalism governs forever and ever. Furthermore, journalists have a baseline of credibility. What is this baseline? In the Elements of Journalism by Bill Kovach and Tom Rosenfeld, a universal journalist code of ethics is raised. I quote Dictum 1. Journalism's first obligation is to the truth. Now, clearly, the verity of a report is foremost on journalists' mind. But of course, even journalists can make mistakes as bloggers. But in 2005, Newsweek erroneously reported a case on the desecration of a Quran, leading to riots and even tragedy death. But then again, with that as an influence, what is? Can you imagine now a world without bloggers? It would be just like the past 5 millennia of civilization, wouldn't it? We've lived so long without them. But a world without journalists, people would descend into oblivious ignorance, abandon their worldviews, eliminate mutual connectivity, and wallow in half-truths and whole lies. Yes, please.
The advent of bloggers is the result of the advance of technology. Don't have to say you can live without bloggers, then it's trying to say you can live without technology.
Well, the fact that we've lived for 5 millennia, not without technology, technology is also required for the news, that you have news online, so on and so forth. This is also technology, and this also reaches out to people. Our journalists bring turmoil, trauma, terrain, and terror, and to bring the truth to the attention of a globalized world. The BBC, they said, putting news first. But bloggers, Well, let's consider, do they impart crucial information credibly? No. Do they surface controversial issues first? No. And do they influence us more than journalists? Absolutely not. And so it's apparent beyond peradventure that bloggers are not becoming more influential than journalists. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jonathan and Sonika, possibly the two fastest talkers in the arena. So, ladies and gentlemen, your judges.
I think we saw both sides were equally engaging and persuasive, but my vote will definitely go with the team that distinguished their position throughout the battle.
Todd. I felt that the team that did better was the one that ended up leading the argument in my mind. And the team that did less well was the one that ended up fighting a sort of a rearguard action, defending a position which was increasingly less and less tenable.
My vote will go to the team that went a little further in determining and explaining the outcome and degree of influence, which to me has to have a tangible, concrete difference, or how else do we measure it?
Doctor?
You guys need to strategize. You have to decide which is the one point that most advanced your case, and stick with that one point. Flesh it out slowly. Don't try and rush through 3,000 points and rush through at the speed of a train, because nobody is going to be able to follow everything you put out there.
Thank you to the judges. Well, there you go. The final round in the arena, this semi-final. Let's take a little look, see what the scores stand after round 1 and 2. With 11 points, the last substitution with 33. But with the final 2 rounds, we've got 56 points still left to be given out. How those scores are going to be falling, we will only find out later on in the results show. We're going for a break right now. We'll see you a little later on. See ya.